I am Fred Dodson, Reality Creation Coach, and in this video cast I'm going to teach you that your inner state has nothing to do with external reality and all to do with internal reality. You can create your own state by which you will begin attracting other realities, other circumstances, other situations. But you do that by looking at what is coming from you and not at what is coming from others or what is coming from the external world. How easily you can change your state, I will now demonstrate to you. This has to be shown on video. By choosing any random book. This one is Bill Bryson called The Lost Continent. It's a random book which I will open to a random page. And I'm going to start reading in a normal state, and then I'm going to read the same thing again in a different state, and then I'm going to read the same thing again in a different state, and then the same thing again in a higher state, and on and on and on, and you'll see how I shift my consciousness, shift my emotions by shifting what I do. Okay? So let's read the paragraph. It's just some random paragraph. I don't know what it is yet. I drove on to Cape Cod, another place I had never been and for which I had high expectations. It was very picturesque with its old salt box homes, its antique shops and wooden inns, its pretty villages and quaint names, Sagamore, Sandwich, Barnstable, Rock Harbor. But it was jam-packed with tourists in overloaded cars and rumbling motor homes. Boy, do I hate motor homes. Especially on crowded peninsulas like Cape Cod, where they clog the street and block the views. And also that some guy and his dumpy wife can eat lunch and empty their bladders without stopping. Okay? I'll do the same thing again in another state. My state will change as my behavior changes. I drove on to Cape Cod, another place I had never been and for which I had high expectations. It was very, very picturesque with its old saltbox homes, its antique shops and its wooden inns, its pretty villages with quaint names. Sagamore, Sandwich, Barnstable, Rock Harbor. But it was jam-packed with tourists in overloaded cars and rumbling motorhomes. And boy do I hate motorhomes, especially on crowded peninsulas like Cape Cod, where they clog the streets and block the views. And also that some guy and his dumpy wife can eat lunch and empty their bladders without stopping. Number 3. I drove on to Cape Cod, another place I had never been, and for which I had high expectations. It was very, very picturesque, with its old saltbox homes, its antique shops, and wooden inns, its pretty villages with quaint names, Sagamore, Sandwich, Barnstable, and Rock Harbor. But it was jam-packed with tourists in overloaded cars and rumbling motorhomes, especially on crowded peninsulas like Cape Cod, where they clog the streets and block the views, and all so that some guy and his dumpy wife can eat lunch and empty their bladders without stopping. Number 4. I drove on to Cape Cod, another place I had never been, and for which I had high expectations. It was very picturesque, with its old saltbuck homes, its antique shops, its wooden inns, its pretty villages with quaint names. Sagamore, Sandwich, Barnstable, and Rock Harbor. But it was jam-packed with tourists and overloaded cars and rumbling motorhomes. Boy, do I hate motorhomes. Boy, do I hate motorhomes, especially on crowded peninsulas like Cape Cod, where they clog the streets and block the views, and all so that some guy and his dumpy wife can eat lunch and empty their bladders without stopping. All right. And with that, my state is dramatically changed from when I started this video cast. That was all spontaneous. It was not prepared. Of course, I might have done better or not. The point is that you can spontaneously elevate your state. How did I elevate my state? I elevated my state by having different ideas in my mind that had nothing to do with the text. The text was kind of negative in retrospect, making fun of people, but I had the idea of a picturesque place in my mind. Another way I changed my state is by changing the rhythm of my voice. For example, I can create a calm state by speaking more calmly and more slowly, more deliberately. I can heighten my state, heighten my excitement by making something exciting of it and speaking it as if it were poetry, or by singing it. That gave me energy right away, which was the opposite of calm. And the first variation, the first version, was just taking reality as it is. This is external reality, and just reading it as it is, taking it as it is, which is kind of dull. Which is unfortunately how most people treat reality. They just accept and take it as it is, with no intention of imbuing it with their spirit, with their energy. And that's what I did just now. So keep in mind that you can change your state anytime you like. All you have to do is change your body posture. For example, once I looked up, looking up, change your state. Standing straight changes your state to a more focused, disciplined thing. Smiling changes your state. How about smiling at people? Hello. Hello, everybody. Breathing can change your state. Conscious breathing. Singing, dancing, moving. You can change your state very quickly. That is, you can go from depression, apathy, fear, anger, all the way up to serenity, joy, happiness within minutes, which is what I just did. Now, if these higher states are not your normal states, it will require some practice. So you might be smiling at people and they'll be returning the smile, but it might not feel native to you yet. It might not feel natural, so that's something to practice until you really do feel the smile towards those other people. So that's something very valuable for life to practice, very valuable for your success. Knowing that the state comes from you. Life is not something that happens to you, it happens through you. And by changing your state in this way, you can change what you experience. Not every social meeting you have has to be dull. You can imbue it with life. But where does the life, where does the meaning come from? It must come from you. If you wait for others to do it, it either won't happen or others will be doing it for you. They'll be determining your state, and that could be any state. So, if this video cast was entertaining to you and helpful to you, please pass it on far and wide to anybody else who might find it entertaining. This was an exercise from the Reality Creation course, part 8 or 9, I think. If you enjoyed it, check out that course. Thank you very much.